We shared a cigarette by East Versailles. The way you looked at me, couldn't say goodbye. And whatever you did to make it stop, 'cause baby, you make me feel something.
To the sound of the tuba. To the sound of the tuba.
Said I'd find a way to turn my heart into something gold. Knew I sold my soul to the devil long ago. I rode it all along on your wave right before it broke. Time was thrown down the well, so I let you go. What I do right now. What I do right now for you, for you. Carolina skies in the night, floating by your side. I fell up when you fell down, but we stayed in flight. I'm laughing to myself, 'cause I know that I can't deny. I can't find what you can't hide right inside my mind. What I do right now. What I do right now for you, for you. been working part-time jobs, chasing all my dreams now lately. No matter if I try too hard, nothing's ever enough, baby. No, I don't care too much. I don't care too much. As long as I can keep you by my side, I don't care too much. We got time, no rush. In your eyes, I always see there is something meant for me. In your eyes, I always feel different. Tell me everything's alright. Life is just a bunch of faces, and if it's not, we'll still be fine. I know we're going places. I don't care too much. I don't care too much. As long as I can keep you by my side, I don't care too much. We got time, no rush. In your eyes, I always see there is something meant for me. In your eyes, I always feel different. In your eyes, I always see there is something meant for me. In your eyes, I always feel different. I was dancing on my own when you spilled that rum and coke on my t-shirt. Yeah, your eyes made it difficult to get my baby. And the next thing I knew, we were so ready to give in, skin to skin on that baseline. Ooh, you give me that high pitch feel, baby. We shared a cigarette by East Versailles. The way you looked at me, couldn't say goodbye. And whatever you did to make it stop, 'cause baby, you make me feel something. And the next thing I knew, we were so ready to give in, skin to skin on that baseline. Ooh, you give me that high pitch feel, baby. We shared a cigarette by East Versailles. The way you looked at me, couldn't say goodbye. And whatever you did to make it stop, 'cause baby, you make me feel something.
to the sound of the tuba. Body to the sound of the tuba.
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
Wir arbeiten schon viel. Und das darf auch sein. Es gehört halt auch dazu. Aber die Technik schafft heute auch viel. Immer mehr sogar. Die Luftfeuchtigkeit passt. Die Stauatmosphäre stimmt. Und wenn die Technik immer mehr schafft, könnten wir ja zwischendurch ein Kehr weniger krampfen. Oder etwa nicht?
You ready? Huh? Hey, he's a good boy, huh? You ready? Huh?
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to yet another night here in the Swisscom Hero League, powered by ESL. We promised you a lot of League of Legends coming into last week, and here we are finally at the last game before our grand finale, the second semifinals in League of Legends, and it will be awesome. But first, we need to introduce ourselves, of course, and with me tonight is nobody else than the legendary chef here next to me. Good evening, mate. How are you?
Thank you very much, Don Rigoni. I'm happy to be here again for the fourth time already this week. And today we are gonna see the last semi-final, and we will see what our grand final matchup will be. But let's first focus on today. Today we will see My Insanity Madhouse facing off against Silent Gaming, and we had this semi-final already, I think, every year up until now.
Yeah,
Every season.
yeah, that is very true, and both of the previous times actually Silent Gaming managed to in the end take it and make their way into the finals, where they both times unfortunately had to concede to Post-Finance Helix. But now it is the possible time here for My Sanity to strike back, to get one in on their scorecard as well, and for once make it into the grand finals themselves.
Yeah, and I mean, for both teams, if they can get into the grand final, they will face Recast Gaming, and it's no longer Post-Finance Helix, which was the only professional team. So everybody that gets into the grand final has a really good chance to also get the first place and get the full prize.
Absolutely. And yeah, our teams, they had to undertake a bit of a journey to get here to the semifinals, and we want to have a short look at that. As a quick reminder, coming into this season, we switched to a tournament bracket rather than the group with a full Swiss round, and this time
round robin, not Swiss round.
Yeah, true. Well, round robin, where we now switch to a tournament bracket with a single elimination system. 8 teams managed to qualify here after we had 8 teams from the second season, and then 8 additional teams qualified through the open qualifier, had to then face off against each other, and then 8 teams made it to the quarterfinals, all of which you can see right on the left. My Insanity Madhouse, they have looked quite dominant in their first game against Flame. Silent Gaming had a bit of a struggle in game number 1 against Fragbox, but they managed to really come back and win quite cleanly in game 2 and 3. And then Lausanne also looked quite dominant against Scythe of Seraph. The same goes for Recast Gaming in their match versus Arctic. But then yesterday we had the big upset where we didn't really expect this to begin with, but Recast Gaming, they just looked super cleanly, and out of Lausanne Esports, it was mainly just sloppy play, a lot of miscommunication happening, and in the end, it was just a clear-cut win for Recast Gaming with a 2-0 there. Whether it's gonna be more even tonight, we'll have to see about that.
Yeah, but now we can look at the match from today, Silent Gaming versus Madhouse, and we will right away look at the lineup from Silent Gaming. Silent Gaming, which had a complete roster change compared to last season. Can you run us through us?
Yes, we actually have Fidinho in the top lane, Xianator making his way through the jungle, Beje in the mid lane, a replacement for you actually, and then Dalton together with Hezaitos in the bot lane. And yeah, I mean, personally, I have had the honor to be managing this team for about 2 years now, and it's just so great to see these young players here making their way all the way into the semifinals. I mean, they started out as just like a fun team amongst friends, became the academy team of Silent Gaming back when actually Lageli and Golden God were playing on Silent Gaming. So this tonight is kind of the situation where the student has the chance to take down the teacher, as they are now the current main team of Silent.
Yeah, but now let's have a look at the lineup from My Insanity Madhouse, former Silent Gaming members, pretty much all of them. And in the top lane we have Sioser. In the jungle we have Gonzi. In the mid lane we have Lageli. And in the bot lane we have Golden God together with Huffy.
Yes, and they have a really stacked roster here. Actually, worth pointing out here, I think, that it's going to be the first appearance here of Konzi in the Swisscom Hero League. As the previous games, they have all been playing with 7 Army, their substitute jungler. So we'll have to see whether that makes any difference coming in tonight, whether he has had an adequate amount of practice with the team. But then, of course, I mean, we have some really staple names here. I mean, Golden God, he's just a beast of himself. He has looked really strong.
I have to correct you a little bit, sorry. But we just got informed that it's still 7 Army playing, not Konzi. So it's still the same lineup that they had the whole tournament.
Okay, my bad. Then never mind that point. They will be bringing the same roster here as they did before. But yeah, I mean, we have some big names here. I mean, Sioser in the top lane, he's been on My Insanity for I don't even know how long. It's been like 3 or 4 years now, I think, after he moved from Arctic.
Yeah, he has been pretty much the only staple that was already for such a long time in that team, and now he has since season 2 of the Hero League he has Lageli and Golden God at his side, and they had I think, who was it? No, Wild Joshi, they had him for a moment, I think, but then he swaps to Boss Finance. Who was the support? Was it already Huffy?
Yeah, Huffy came in. Huffy was the replacement for Wild Joshi.
Yeah, but one thing also worth mentioning is Golden God. Golden God is the one of only 4 challenger players coming out of Switzerland, so he is a really stable player. And we are already in the draft for the first game, where Silent Gaming will be starting on the blue side.
And they target that challenger threat down there right away with the Kalista band there. I can expect we'll see a couple of bands coming his way here, and then maybe capitalizing on Lageli's champion pool a bit, since he is known to really play those control mages. And as we've seen in the past, Beshe is not afraid to whip out something like the Cassidin, for example. My Insanity Madhouse, they seem to be a little bit afraid of Xianator's champion lineup here, banning out the Echo as well as the Lee Sin here. So they will do their best to keep their AD carry protected here. Interesting blue side ban here coming out in the set, actually, from the side of Silent Gaming here as a third ban.
Yeah, I think they don't really like the champion in their lineup, because I'm not sure if they can flex it around. I know that Fidenio plays it, but the rest doesn't really play it, and it's such a strong pick. But if you can't flex it, it's not really worth picking it up first. But now Silent Gaming will lock in Xayah as their first pick.
I really like this. I mean, they ban out the Kalista and the Misfortune, 2 very, very strong AD carries that also enable Golden God to really get that performance in. And then they put them in an awkward position where it's like, okay, you either pick up the Rakan and we'll have like maybe not a super optimal bot lane combination, or we just take it here, but they can't have that safety with the Xayah pick on their roster. But now, My Insanity Mad has to pick up the Rumble here, usually a potential flex pick, but Sioser is so good and well known on that Rumble, so I'm pretty sure he's gonna be playing that.
Yeah, And the Tristana is a good flex pick for my Insanity because Lagally and Golden God can play that champion, so they can swap it around. And if Silent Gaming wants to pick up a Kassadin, they have to face him potentially against the Tristana, and I'm not sure if they want to do that.
I definitely agree there, but to little surprise, Silent Gaming is hovering the Rakan here. They will lock him in, and now I'm expecting them to probably go for a jungle pick here, as they probably don't want to show too much yet. And then probably target some more of that mid lane, and then the Wukong stays open here, and they will get that. Also a potential flex at this point. We've seen Fidinho actually playing that Wukong in the past against Fragbox, and it was such an impactful pick.
Yeah, and it's also easily playable in the jungle, and with his double Cyclone he has so much impact in ganks, but then later on also in team fights. And now my Insanity picks up the Elise, so they want to have a strong early game jungler.
Yeah, they really want to go for it here, but so far, I mean, the side of Silent Gaming just looks super explosive here. Some very strong combinations here. I mean, my Insanity, they kind of have this kind of roster, especially in the Elise and the Tristana. If they get ahead, they can really pop off, and they will be hard to contain. But then again, if it comes to that mid and late game, I think Silent Gaming so far has the advantage here. My Insanity now banning out the Diana, and looks like they want to cut Besh's roster here a little bit. Nice inside there with the Leona. Usually such a good counter into the Rakan. I also expect probably the Nautilus coming in here as a second ban.
Yeah, Nautilus is also very often picked into Rakan, even though Xayah can easily dodge the ultimate from Nautilus with her Feather Storm, but other Nautilus is so strong into a Rakan, so they probably don't want to face that.
And could also maybe see my Insanity going for like the Bard even in the bot lane. Yeah, there is the Nautilus ban going out, and I expect my Insanity to leave the counter pick open here for Lagili, so he will not be going up into a bad matchup here for him. It's actually going to be the Kog'Maw here. Is that possible?
I think it would match the damage profile, but they now are going for that Lulu.
Okay.
Lulu has great peel for things like Wukong and Rakan with her wild growth, so that can be really impactful. And now we will see the solo lanes for Silent Gaming being defined.
But then again, she is a very defensive pick, and it's hard for her to like find proper engages, so to speak, while he is good at keeping them safe. Nice intel there. They pick up the Corki here for Pesce in the mid lane here. One of the picks that Lagally really likes to go for. So it's probably going to be only the Victor remaining out of his champion pool here, I'm guessing. And I'm not too sure whether that's too comfortable into the Corki here.
Yeah, I think Victor has good scaling to match that Corki, and they will pick up the Maokai for the top lane. So they have strong frontline and very strong DPS, and my Insanity probably will lock in that Kog'Maw for that bot lane, but they are lacking some frontline,
Yes.
so that could be difficult to play out.
They're still hovering the Kog'Maw here. And yeah, that is going to be the draft. It will be the Kog'Maw here for Golden God, and Lagally will be taking the Tristana into the mid lane here. Meanwhile, we have the Wukong here in the jungle for Silent Gaming. And yeah, I mean, you're the color caster of the two of us, so what do you think of these two drafts?
I think that both teams have got what they wanted here. My Insanity, I'm pretty sure they wanted to get that Kog'Maw Lulu. I think they probably thought Xayah Khan could be a possibility, but I think they prepared the Kog'Maw into that because they really matched the scaling very well. I think the Tristana pick was a little bit aggressive for them just to deny the possibility of a Kassadin, but I don't think it's too great into a Corki. And the Elise will be very interesting in the early game to follow because she has surely to do, she needs to do a lot in the early game, and I think Mind Sanity has very much magic damage in their team, so it's gonna be hard to get that Maokai down.
Yes.
He can get
Yeah.
things like an adaptive helm
And
maybe even more magic resistance, and he will be very hard to cut down.
Imagine you have like a Maokai on a, as you said, on adaptive helm, as well as the, I always forget the name. It's like the one item I always forget. Spirit Visage, exactly. But imagine Spirit Visage plus adaptive helm with the comp that my Insanity currently has. He'll just laugh. And also when it comes to crowd control here, I mean, my Insanity, yeah, they have the Elise Cocoon, but outside of that, that's about it. I mean, sure, they can use the polymorph coming out from the Lulu, but it's not really considered hard CC, more of a silence kind of. But then on the side of silent gaming, it can get so explosive. I mean, they have these insane engages with the Rakan, who can basically come in from like a mile away with the battle dance onto the Xayah, and then with the quickness plus grand entrance just engage on that backline that can be so vulnerable here because they don't have great mobility, to be honest. And then also like the Wukong making his way in there with the Cyclone that he can now use twice, plus then always the Maokai, who will just be sticking on top of you, and you will not get away all in the meantime as Corki is gunning away with his rockets. So it will surely be an interesting game here as we're making our way onto the Rift here. And we actually got a little goodie for all our viewers who have tuned in tonight for our last semi-final here. You can actually win some sweet skins tonight. So just keep your eyes peeled. We'll from time to time we will show a skin code there for you that with a little bit of luck you can snag up.
Yeah, I'm really interested how Mind Sanity is gonna play out their comp. I think they really need to get to the objective first if they wanna contest it, because of the lack of engage that they have. It's really hard for them to face check into silent gaming and then to engage and force the fight themselves. So silent gaming, if they get to the objective first, I think they are in a real good position.
Yeah, and especially like Mind Sanity, they are really the ones here being pressed for time, as they really have to make things work here come the early game, because if the game goes on, I mean, Wukong, Corki, Xayah, those are just such insane late game win conditions here on the side of silent gaming. But 7 Army already making his way into the mid lane here, gets caught up by the Cocoon here, will get taken down here by Luckily. That's already first blood here at the 2-minute mark precisely. Did not respect the red side start there from them, but Hasaito's now also falling quite low here down in the bot lane against Golden God with the Bio Arcane Barrage. Does a lot of damage, especially early, and now 7 Army is making his way down here already, looking for a potential dive here. So they are really stepping on the gas here. Dalton now trying to get away, gets stunned up underneath the turret here. He manages to step out, but Golden God will pick up the kill, uses the barrier there to stay alive, and that's already the second kill here going over to the side of my Insanity.
Yeah, that Elise is working out great. 2 kills in 2 minutes, really great job, and they get on the Tristana and the Kog'Maw, so these are the carries for the late game and they are getting a head start already now.
Yeah, and that's exactly the thing that Mindsanity will have to be looking for here if they want to carry through with this draft. I mean, we said it already, I mean, they don't really have too much reliable engage, so getting a head start on both of their ADCs here is so valuable here. And the 7 Army just did his second camp here, so he went from red buff into gank, into blue buff.
Yeah, and Xeanator tried to counter jungle there, but has to go away because Lagili has such a good lane control now because of that first blood he was able to pick up, and 7 Army, even though he's a level down, he can contest that that skull crab and can pick it up for himself.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe it was a little bit of a lack of respect there, or just experience here on the side of Silent Gaming, that they went down super early, especially like Pesha there in the mid lane, not expecting the Elise to come for the level 2 gank here from the top side after her red buff. They also did not get the ward in deep enough, I think.
Elise again looking at bot lane, so but I think it's worth it, so Silent Gaming can back off in time.
Yeah, now for the meantime, just a little bit of back and forth in the farms department going on here. Seos are also exerting quite a bit of pressure in the top lane already here. He's already up 10 farm over the Maokai. Same goes for Lagili in the mid lane, so they're really using their advantages here. They got early to their best and just keep on pressuring their waves out and getting more and more of a lead here. In the meantime, Mindsanity will be able to crash the turret down here in the bottom lane, and I think for Silent Gaming it will just be farming duty here for the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, I mean they have good scaling, but that was really a bad early game for them. Really well played by 7 Army to find this early ganks from level 2. Now,
nearly being
still
caught up
good
there.
damage from that lovers
Yeah,
duo.
and that's the thing. I mean, with the enchanter supports, yeah, you have that utility. You can like really give some steroids essentially to your Kog'Maw, but then again, you are pretty squishy, and if the Rakan which did not connect with his grand entrance this time, but if lands the engage on you, you're dead pretty fast, and with the lack of mobility, it's really hard to get out.
Yeah, and Xeanator also got chased around a little bit by that little spider, so he has to try and pick up farm where he can, and 7 Army already going for that first round.
Yeah, so they are really stepping on the gas here. Golden God and Huffy now also rotating up to help out their jungler here. Meanwhile, Xeanator on that Wukong, he keeps farming. Probably the best idea here, just get to those level 6 power spikes and then start looking for potential fights here. But they're already down 1.5k gold here in only 6.5 minutes here. So not ideal here. Xeanator now going in grand entrance, connects their Gold God, gets rooted up there. Will take a lot of damage, ignite onto him. That's a kill going over to Dalton here. Can Hesitas get out? He uses the flash but falls to the heads of Huffy here. So they managed to at least get something back, but they wanted the Kog'Maw and they got the Kog'Maw.
Slight overstep there by Hesitos, tried to give another shield with the battle dance, but then he gets taken down for that. Could have been a 1-0 for Silent Gaming, but well played for Mindsanity to get the kill back.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dalton now here gets a little bit of free time here up in the top lane. Fidinia now being caught up here in the top lane. Can he use the twist advance? No, he's already used it. Its ultimate goes out, but 7 Army with the repel can just get out here. Lagil now being potentially caught out here, uses the buster shot, even burns the flash here as well as the ignite onto Pesha, and he will survive with a sliver of health here, and Lagili will go down in the mid lane.
Yeah, that was really close. I think he got a level up there to survive that. But I'm not sure, maybe we can get another look at that. in a replay, but it was super close, and I'm not sure, but Hesaitos doesn't seem on top of his game. His grand entrances are missing quite a
Yeah,
lot.
well there, I think Lagili kind of jumped over it because he just was like, okay, not gonna survive this 3v1 here, so I'm just gonna rocket jump onto Pesha and trying to burst him out. And with that, the grand entrance did not manage to connect here. But MYI so far, they're in firm control of the spot lane here. And Sioser in the top, he's doing really well for himself as well.
Yeah, Sioser is getting quite a good lead, but I mean, that's what I already said in the draft with the... we are getting the replay. While 7 Army is already going for the Drift Herald again. Let's look at that mid lane fight once more. There, no, it just misses the grand entrance, and then
probably wanted to predict him.
Ah, no, it was the Triumph, I guess. Or I somehow he got some healing that left him alive very closely. Luckily couldn't get the 1-for-1 there, but it was very close, even though it was a 3v1.
Yeah, especially with the gank attempt with the packet here in the top lane. Did not manage to get a kill there, but at least burned Sioser's flash right there. So he can come back and maybe look for another attempt here, as MYI, they just keep crashing these waves down here in the bottom lane. Meanwhile, Golden God is already up 20 farm at this point here, and but now with Rakan on that level 6, they have to respect them, because I don't think they will really win the 2v2 yet. Even though Dalton did not recall yet, so he's still on that Doran's Blade.
Yeah, I think with the Bilgewater Cutlass they could win that trade, because it's it gives just a little bit of sustain, and with all the shielding and the ultimate. Wait a second, in the mid lane we have another gank.
Oh, nice predict there. Onto the Cocoon, Pesha flashes out there, gets tagged with the explosive shot there as well. And Fidinho now has to run for the hills here up in the top lane, but now Xianator here going in onto Huffy and Golden God. They take a lot of damage, but Hesaitos has already gone down here. Golden God gets boosted up here by the Lulu. Huffy used the flash, but they will both stay safe. And in the mid lane, Lagili with the help of Rift Herald and 7 Army here will be able to claim this first turret. Yeah, but now he jumps in aggressively, ignite down onto Pesha there, eats a turret shot, but in the end will get quite a bit of damage here onto Pesha and connect the second Rift Herald charge.
Yeah, luckily playing out that Tristana really
in the meantime, Xianator has taken down Huffy here, also gets a double kill here onto Golden God, so things are swinging back a little bit for the side of Silent Gaming here.
Yeah, that was a great attempt. I think Xianator was staying in the lane brush, and my Insanity wasn't expecting that. Maybe we can also get that in another replay. But
Hesaitos now being stunned up.
Again, he has such a great early game, and now he has to use the quickness to get out of there. 7 Army is showing us a real good early game and is now going already for that second trade.
Yeah, absolutely. And even though he gave up so much, like in the early game, to just exert all that pressure, there we see it. He just stayed, still has the red buff there. MYI pushing out here, and he was like, okay, yeah, we can do this. Let's just go for another one. We don't have vision onto him, and then he just straight up goes in onto Huffy. They use the flash on Golden God, but a nice Feather Storm here ensures that he gets caught up as well. And 7 Army in the meantime claims the second dragon here for his team, as that was a Mountain Drake now going out, and it will be an Infernal Rift here as Xianator, he's going in yet again there with the Cyclone onto Huffy. He will have to flash up, but Golden God just takes out Dalton here, who wanted to go for the 1v1 kind of. And now it's a 5v3 down here in the bottom lane. Fidinho does not have his teleport up yet, and they will just be able to probably claim this turret down here. Or maybe even look for a dive. Logly making his
Silent
way
Game
around. The Xianadru now coming in. Great equalizer. They're going down to zone them away. They get the kill onto Huffy. Logly shoots them back into the turret with the buster shot. Sioser going really low there underneath the turret, but Golden God gets a double kill in that whole situation. Hesaitas is now caught out underneath the turret here. 7 Army will get that kill over, and that's a 3-4-1 trade overall here for the side of My Insanity. No, even a 4-4.
Yeah,
Altin went down
but-
earlier against Golden God in that solo engage.
Yeah, but that was very well played by Lagally. He used the buster shot to get 3 members of Silent Gaming back into the already lying equalizer, and that dealt so much damage that we can see that once again in the replay. It was quite greedy from Silent Gaming to go there for Huffy. They use pretty much everything they have for Huffy, and then they are left in the 3v5.
Yeah, and look at that.
And look at that buster shot into the equalizer there, and then Sioser can go back in, and all this time Golden God can just fire away.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, they burned a lot of their resources in these earlier fights there. They did not have the Saya anymore with them. And yeah, Pesce burned the Valkyrie there to get onto Huffy, and I think they didn't realize that the Lulu is right behind them. But now the package coming in here. Poor Huffy. He will just fall again in the top lane here against that gank squad. Turret plating now falling off, but My Insanity, they have done enough damage here in the early game. If we look at the Kog'Maw, he's already 2k gold up here over the Zaya. He's looking really strong, and with all these turret plates. But now quickness plus the Grand Entrance going down onto Golden God. He does not have the protection from the Lulu. Xianadru now going in with the Cyclone. He gets the shot down there. 7 Army now also really low. Dalton will be able to get the kill here with the Blade Caller. They trade 2 for 2 here in the end, but 2 shutdowns here going over to the side of Silent Gaming. In the meantime, Fidinho looks to be sandwiched here in the mid lane. Nothing he can really do there, because Lagally has completed his Blade of the Ruined King at this point, and will do a lot of damage. Yeah, he even has the BS sword on top of it, so he will shred through that tank quite easily.
And it's also interesting, we get a replay first, I think, of the top lane fight. Yeah. It was a 3v2 for Silent Gaming, but they still trade 2 for 2 because they had no clue 7 Army was there. And sure, they get the Kog'Maw pretty fast, but now look, they are stacking up for the Kog'Maw passive. It deals a lot of damage, and Xianadru tries to get in the damage so Dalton can pick up the kill. It works too, but it was quite aggressive. And yeah, it's once again My Insanity come out with a quite even trade and can keep up their lead.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're Silent Gaming in this position, you want to go for even trades, because you are behind. You managed to get that shutdown, so you still get a bit of an advantage here out of that, I'd argue. But now we see the TP here being channeled from Fidinho, 7 Army, and Lagally possibly being caught out here. Xianadru goes in with another Cyclone there onto 7 Army. He does not have his flash. There's another Cyclone buster shot used onto the Wukong there. He gets shot down here, and Dalton claims another kill there for his Xayah, and that is so important that they managed to get those kills back onto the Xayah. They're now chasing down Lagally and Sioser here down to the bottom side of the map, but they're behind quite a few levels at this point. Pesce also making his way down here, and in the meantime Golden God is flashing forward there onto Dalton. Huffy tanking up the turret, that they managed to actually get the kill back onto Xayah. Meanwhile, Silent Gaming will at least get themselves a dragon. Man, I don't even get to breathe in this game.
Yeah, what a bloody game we have here. 16 minutes in and we already have 22 kills. But now the first dragon goes to Silent Gaming, the first objective for them, because they don't even have a turret yet. We will look at that dive, I think, once again. And yeah,
you can just run in.
Can pretty much just run down Dalton. He tries to flash to reposition himself to get the good break.
And Lagally gets another solo kill here onto Pesce.
Yeah, I mean, that's hurting very much Silent Gaming. One thing I want to say for already a long time, but I didn't got to say it.
Oh,
is,
Xianator.
we have another fight.
Can he be taken
And
down here? He manages to
nah.
get out of harm's way there at the very least. 7 Army will bring up the second Rift Herald here to the top lane. I think you can continue your point.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Maokai builds the Abyssal Mask and not the Adaptive Helm, because they don't have they don't have real much AP threat outside of the Corki, so I don't get why he tries to get that AP damage increase.
Oh,
with
Lageli
the
now
Abyssal
going
Mask.
really low here in the mid lane. Gets caught up here. Is a little bit too overconfident there. I think at this point they're just like, oh, we're super ahead, so we can go for these heavy 1v1 plays, but sometimes it isn't really a 1v1, and the Corki actually starts to deal some real damage at this point.
Yeah, Mind Sanity tries to keep on pressuring on, but Silent Gaming now starts to fight back a little bit more. Still in a 7,000 gold deficit, so Silent Gaming is behind by quite a margin, but I feel like in the fight they are trading a little bit better
Yeah,
already.
absolutely. I think that's the point where you can really see the strength coming in from these huge AoE ultimates, and that those CC capabilities here out of the composition that Silent Gaming is running. And in the meantime, look at 7 Army's build. He went straight for the Void Staff here. Huffy and Golden God now have to run for the hills here. 7 Army is backing them up. Look at that! The street is just melting down at this point. He gets out with the Twisted Advance there. Sioser is teleporting in from the side, uses the equalizer there down onto Fedinho. They manage to go in onto Hesaitos there, take him out, and Dalton will have to run away here. 7 Army is looking for a potential catch here with a Cocoon, and now they are in a 5v4 at this point. And will be trying to go for that mid lane turret here. That Kog'Maw is just so strong at this point. Pesha can't really do much here to get the minions cleared out. I think they will just have to concede this inhibitor here, and usually it can be quite risky if you take down an inhibitor at 20 minutes, as at that point you're basically running against the clock, because you really want the game to end fast, because with these super minions spawning you will otherwise just be funneling gold into your opponents. And Mind Sanity is now on the bot side of the map, and they don't really have any great vision here on the top side. And it looks like Silent Gaming, they want to sneak
now
a
they
Baron.
have vision.
Yeah, they get the Trinket Ward in there, and will manage to grab them here. Huffy now maybe being caught out here. Fidinho goes in there with the Twisted Ones. Hesaitos channels the quickness there, but he gets stunned up. Look at that equalizer though, just burning away everyone. And Xianator now using the Cyclone. There goes Golden, but he will go down in the end. 7 Army flashing forward, trying to connect the Cocoon there. In the meantime, Lageli is just pushing in the bot wave here. Beshe is slowed with the electric harpoon, and Lageli will just take in the wave there, but they will start working on those Nexus turrets now. Dalton still deals a considerable amount of damage, manages to shut down the Rumble there, and now it will be quite risky here for Mind Sanity to still stay in this. Lageli wants a second inhib here by the looks of it, but Dalton, he is on the way to his second item now, and he deals quite a bit of damage at this point.
7 Army is so huge in that game. In that last fight, he was able to get the Cocoon on Hesaitos, who was flashing in with the quickness and could shut down the immediate engage and could shut down the whole team fight. Now my Insanity wants to look for the third ray. Silent Gaming wants to contest this, but they
Oxyanator nearly managed to get the steal there, but he will be taken down. Lageli now jumping in, uses the Buster Shot there to get them back into his team, and look at that! The explosive just is dealing so much damage. Gets the double kill there on his Tristana, and meanwhile the minions will take down that second Nexus turret there. Looks like Silent Gaming has bitten off a little bit more than they could chew with trying to contest that dragon there. Gold God will just flash forward here and take down nearly will take down Fidinho here, but they are going for the Nexus, and that's game number 1 here in only 23 minutes, 22 and a half minutes here, going over to to My Insanity, of course. I'm sorry.
Yeah, real dominant showing from My Insanity, and I'm super impressed by Seven Army. That was, I think, the best early game jungling we have seen up until now in this season.
I agree.
Really well played by him, getting 2 ganks off on level 2, getting a tower dive on the bot lane while the enemy bot lane is still level 1. Really well played. That's something very difficult to do, and Silent Gaming will have they need a complete reset now in this pause, because that's a hard loss.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that probably was to a little bit of a lack of experience or respect there to that pressure that Seven Army can really be exerting on that Elise. I mean, especially after they saw him there in the mid lane and overstepped a bit down in the bottom lane when he just came down there. It was really hard, really hard for them to come back at this point. I mean, they managed to get some good catches off. They had some good engages with the Wukong especially, but in the end, it was not enough here for them to get back into this. And I mean, My Insanity, they had the lead, and they just kept pressuring, and the Silent Gaming just crumbled underneath all that aggression.
Yeah, and but I don't feel like Silent Gaming misplayed hard or something. I just really think My Insanity outplayed them so well. They just forced the right plays. Each play they forced, it was so decisive. Everyone was on the same page, and they nearly won every fight they took. And I don't know. It was for me, as pick wise, that Lulu Kog'Maw was the scariest. But I mean, the jungle mid lane duo with Elise Tristana was so strong. Luckily, even taking the rocket jump on level 1 to help in that first gank. So that was super well played. And one thing I just want to mention again is that second gank from Seven Army when he was diving bot lane. That's so hard for Silent Game because they don't have the jungler in position, and then you have just 2 ways to play it out. Either you stay under the turret and try to fight it, which failed horribly, and the other only possibility is to back off completely and lose like 2 or 3 waves under your turret while you're still level 1, and then you're also pretty much out of the game. So it was super well played by My Insanity, and I'm interested if that second game will be any different, but from that game alone, My Insanity looks like such a strong force.
Absolutely. I mean, one thing we could mention here is that at this when like what can you do in a dive scenario like that? I mean, they saw the Elise in the mid lane. He had his red buff cleared, so they could have maybe expected him going to the bottom side of the map. As you mentioned, like Xeonator, he was not in position. Maybe he couldn't even have gotten there in time. But like the moment you see the Elise coming in, your top laner like has to channel his teleport at this point to still salvage that situation, because otherwise we saw exactly what happened. I mean, Seven Army was absolutely huge early. They had pressure all around the map. With that, they had a lead in mid and in the bottom lane, which could have been like the weak point, since due to the lack of mobility that Kog'Maw naturally has. but just like this kickstarting him in that early phase of the game, not just in terms of farm, but also like just the raw experience that Dalton missed out on. I mean, after that point, it's just them stumbling behind My Insanity and trying to catch back up. And My Insanity is not really the type of team and with the caliber of players, the type of also individuals that will let you do that.
Yeah, but I think we also need a breather after that short but intense game, and also the teams really need to discuss what they have to change for that second game, especially Silent Gaming. But I think that's it for game one. Do you have something left to say, Rigoni?
No, I mean, so far I think everything has been said. I hope we'll see a little bit of a more of a competitive showing here coming into game number 2. I mean, the draft didn't look bad in terms of just composition on the side of Silent Gaming, but I think at certain points they just wanted too much. They were like, okay, we got something, and then they wanted to get another thing, but instead should have maybe just stayed back, go for like look for like individual mistakes, and then when you're up, when you have a numbers advantage, then you can maybe look for some fights that will also disincentivize My Insanity from just keep on pushing further and further as they did.
Yeah. But I'm super interested if Silent Gaming is able to adapt in such a short time. But I think we are now heading into a break for 5 minutes, so stay tuned, get something to eat, get something to drink, and we will see you again in 5 minutes.
Said I'd find a way to turn my heart into something gold. Knew I sold my soul to the devil long ago. I rode it all along on your wave right before it broke. Time was thrown down the well, so I let you go. What I do right now. What I do right now for you.
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
Wir arbeiten schon viel. Und das darf auch sein. Es gehört halt auch dazu. Aber die Technik schafft heute auch viel. Immer mehr sogar. Die Luftfeuchtigkeit passt. Die Stauatmosphäre stimmt. Und wenn die Technik immer mehr schafft, könnten wir ja zwischendurch ein Kehr weniger krampfen. Oder etwa nicht.
You ready? Huh? Hey, he's a good boy, huh? You ready? Huh?
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
Welcome back once again here to the Swisscom Hero League, powered by ESL and of course made possible by our sponsors Samsung and Omen by HP. We're here tonight with League of Legends and the duel between Silent Gaming and My Insanity. And next to me, my beautiful co-caster Carlo, aka Chef Züger. What a game one we've seen here. It was full of action, and we just talked about how much fun it was to cast and to observe.
Yeah, it was really a good game. It was a bloody game, but I think one of the shortest games we had up until now. I mean, 22 minutes and I think 34 seconds for the finish.
Yeah.
That's super fast and such a clean game. I think the only objective My Insanity lost was the third Drake, which was an Infernal Drake, but as single Drakes don't really matter that much, that didn't really impact the game. And Silent Gaming was just caught off guard. My Insanity was pressing down that the tempo, and 7 Army.
I
I
was just about to say,
impressed by him.
pressing on the gas. That was mainly due to one man, I'd say, and that was 7 Army. I mean, he was just all out there, and on his Elise, he was like, okay, we have not won that draft really. Give me that Elise, I will carry this through, and carry he did. I mean, he went from his red straight to the mid lane, got first blood there together with Lageli, then ran straight to the bot lane, doing no camps whatsoever, and got another gank in with the dive there onto Silent Gaming's bot lane. And yeah, with that, they pretty much catapulted them ahead by like 1k gold early, and from that it just kept snowballing and snowballing and snowballing.
Yeah, and now we are already in the second draft. Silent Gaming once again on the blue side. So for the first game, My Insanity decided for the red side, and for the second game, Silent Gaming decided for the blue side. So we have the same sides once again. The first bans are the same, but Silent Gaming surely have to adapt, and there is the
Yeah.
Rumble ban.
That is something we have seen time and time again coming out, especially targeted at Cioser. He does not have the biggest champion pool of all. We've also mentioned that in previous seasons, and you can like try to abuse that, but his rumble, you really don't want to give him that. And there we see another adaptation in the Kog'Maw that's also being banned out here.
Yeah, but now Set is open and the Misfortune also is open. So Mind Sanity surely have some ways to adapt to that change in the draft. They themselves didn't change anything in the
No.
bans.
I really like to see the Set here coming out for Vidinho, but it looks like it's just gonna be the Zaya yet again. So it seems like that that was like, okay, we got caught a bit off on the wrong foot there in that game number 1, but we can still do and execute that draft properly. So let's just redo that. But this enables my Insanity to pick up the Set here, and of course, I mean that Set ban that just explains it, like just the.
Wait, we have an Italy.
No, I mean, oh yeah, we do have an Italy for 7.
We have an Italy once again.
Oh wow. Okay, Xianato for a short second covering the Shaco there. He is quite an adept Checo player, so maybe he'll whip that out. We don't know yet.
Nah, I don't think. But we have an Italy for 7 Army. He had such a great performance on that Elise, and now he's whipping out that Nidalee. If he can have the same impact he had in the first game, he will just be able to solo kill the carries of Silent Gaming.
But Silent Gaming so far, they just seem to be going for the same exact picks here so far. It looks like it's going to be the Jarvan here maybe for them. Yeah, it's going to be the Jarvan that's locked in here. Would have really liked the Wukong here. He could have also gotten into that top lane there, especially into the Zed. The matchup is not too bad. And if he can get ahead, it can get quite snowbally. Now the Zoe here is being hovered in the mid lane for Lageli there. And I think he will stay in the mid lane with that. Their Mind Sanity will just stick to their bans here by the looks of it. And I'm curious now on what Silent Gaming will ban out here in the second.
ADCs.
Yeah, probably
ADCs
Misfortune
all the
and
way.
Ezreal here. And Golden God will pick up the Draven. I think.
Will he?
I think so. I think so. They're at this point they were like, okay, we won in 22.5 minutes. Let's style a bit. Let's really whip out our comfort picks, and play this one. And if we go down in this, we still have another game to come back into this.
Yeah, and I mean it's super interesting that Mind Sanity in both games left the last 2 picks for that bottom lane just to get Golden God and Huffy that matchup they want. That's the interesting drafting decision.
They ban out the Kassadin here, so smelling that possibility, because that is something that can get out of hand quickly if you have a little bit of fun and some 2 or 3 kills go over to the side of Silent Gaming, then the Kassadin is going to be really, really, really painful. And it's not going to be the Ezreal here. I was wrong, unfortunately. But let's see what Golden God is going to be going for here. Maybe he just takes the Zoe down to the bottom lane.
The hover?
Oh,
maybe it's a set support. Yeah.
And the Yorick here. For Siosa.
For Siosa.
West Yorick EU West. And ladies and gents.
I don't know. Siosa, he has his champion pool stays quite the same for such a long time, but he has such proficiency on his champions that it really works out. And now we see an Irelia picked up for Silent Gaming. And an Orianna was open, so they have Wombo combo potential.
Absolutely. And it's going to be an Irelia top lane here. Actually, don't know the interaction with the ghouls. I think you can just queue them all, right?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty hard counter. But
it's going to
as I said, Sioser is really good on that Yorick, and maybe he even has something in store for that matchup.
And it looks like it's going to be the victor here for Golden God. A lot of people know this already, but he is actually quite a good mid laner too. He likes to really play the Victor as well as the Orianna, or sometimes the Cassio.
Wait,
Or is
or
it?
is it the Zoe bot lane?
Okay, it is the Zoe bot lane. I was like, okay, I've never seen Lagli play the Zoe. So apparently it's going to be Golden God on the Zoe there.
I mean, that draft from Mind Sanity is just amazing how they drafted. I'm not yet super sure how it's gonna
Yeah,
play out.
you were like,
but-
yeah, bot lane can still pick their matchup. Little did you know, they already did.
Yeah, they completely bamboozled me. Yeah, I don't really know. Mind Sanity has a lot of pick potential for sure. They have some good scaling with Victor. They have some good split push with Yorick, but I don't really.
Let's be honest,
I
it is a bit
can't-
all over the place, and I think
Yeah.
they are just about to have a little bit of fun here in this one. Question is, can Silent Gaming punish them for that?
Yeah, I mean, just from the draft, I would give it to Silent Gaming as I would also have given it to them in the first game. But my Insanity was able to play so well individually that the composition didn't matter that
Yeah,
much.
I agree with you on that one. If they can get ahead like the same way this time, it will certainly be quite a bit harder because Seven Army not having that Elise, of course, he can't go for these cheesy early game dives that Elise is so well known and feared for. But he can still deal a lot of damage on that Nidalee and really do some power farming.
Yeah, I mean, Mind Sanity surely don't lack damage, but now we are already for the second game, and Silent Gaming, we have to swap it around. They are on the wrong side on the scoreboard on the top, but Silent Gaming really have to pick up the win here, or else the tournament is over for them.
Absolutely, but as mentioned like yesterday already, all the teams that we've seen in the semifinals here, they will not go home empty-handed. They will still get a prize money of 500 francs per team for third and fourth place respectively. But then whoever makes it into the grand finals, they will get at least 1,000 francs out of that cash prize, and the winner even getting 3k out of it. So the big share will be going over to the winner.
And we see Huffy going for the Omnistone. I'm super excited to see that. The Omnistone is not really the best keystone on most champions, but on set support and even set jungle, it can work out pretty good.
Absolutely. It also enables you to get that Hex Flash together with the Nimbus Cloak, and with that you can just aggressively look for engages and catch
Yeah.
your opponents off guard essentially with that Face Breaker.
Yeah. And I'm super interested to see that bot lane play out. I mean, that support is nothing super new, but Zoe doesn't show herself often in the bot lane as a laner.
Yeah, absolutely. But this time, like in the mid, Pesha at least gets a little bit of air to breathe, I think, here, having the Orianna in his hands. And I mean, in the quarterfinals against Fragbox, he has really shown up on that champion. So I'm super curious whether he's going to find that amount of awesome shockwaves here that got me so excited in their last game.
Yeah, I mean, he really showed us a real good performance on this Orianna, and I think Silent Gaming has drafted a little bit more comfort for them. I think the Corki wasn't the most comfortable pick for Pesha, and also that Maokai for Fidinho. So I'm really excited to see what they can show us now in this game.
I was like, okay, the Orin is still open, They still had the Aatrox open for a potential top lane pick, but he was put on tank duty, and I don't think that look suits Fidinho too well, as he takes a bit of a turret shot there. Really aggressively stepping forward here. 7 Army will make his way into the top lane, connects the spear. That's gonna be first blood here, going over to 7 Army, both of them using their flash there. Nearly managed to get out, but that's first kill here going over to the side of my Insanity. Nice flash in there from Xeanator with that flag and drag. Luckily has to burn his flash as well as the ignite for additional safety here. But 7 Army now is making his way into the mid here. Will be looking for a spear here. But he does not find it. Just manages to scare off Besher there as they are getting onto that scuttle crab down in the bot side now.
Yeah, and it was a good gank attempt by Xeanator, but he didn't get the kill there, and Fidinho was just really far out of the top lane. Now in the bot lane we have a small fight.
Golden God's
good
getting
snare
rooted
there
up. Can he get out? He has to burn his heal there for additional movement speed there with his W. Ignite now going down onto Hesitos. He has to be running for the hills here. There's another Blade Caller there down onto Huffy. Hesitos trying to go in there. Flash being picked up by Golden God, and he gets the kill onto Dalton there. Nicely done here by the side of My Insanity. They have underestimated the Zoe here a little bit here, especially when it comes to those drawn out fights and when she can pick up these additional summoner spells.
Yeah, she was able to flash 3 times there.
Oh, Hesitos. Just
that bot lane is over. With that wave crashing into my Insanity, and they even freeze it. Yeah, I don't see Silent Gaming spot lane coming back in that game. That is just devastating.
Absolutely. And Hesitos there just had a bit of a brain fart, if I may say so. I mean, stepping forward this far with such a big wave, and then it's just like, okay, yeah, I mean, Huffy just flashing in, pulling him back there a bit, and no problem there for My Insanity to get yet another kill, and they are already up nearly 2,000 gold again in this one.
Yeah, I mean, both times also top lane died already once while the wave was crashing into the enemy tower, so both times a real good gank timing, or I mean fight timing. Now Xeanator tries to sneak that dragon, and his bot lane can at least help him with that. But without getting to soul point, it's gonna be a pretty hard thing to net this dragon lead into something real in this game.
Yeah, but like let's not talk this down too much. It is an ocean dragon, and it will help them a little bit. I mean, they have quite a bit of poke here on the side of MYI, and that little bit of sustain can just make their laning phase here so much more comfortable, I think, here. And one thing we also should mention, I think, for MYI, it's gonna be really hard to actually take turrets in this game.
Yeah, right. And
also objectives in general. Like, imagine taking down a Baron with the comp that MYI
Yeah, I mean,
has.
a Victor is gonna get quite well in that, and mages got also buffed in like at the start of season 10, I think, at taking towers. So Victor is gonna do that job in the mid to late game quite well, but they don't have the classical ADC, so that's gonna still be harder than normally.
Absolutely, and in the meantime, 7 Army, he's putting on quite a clinic here, just outpathing Xeanator by quite a bit here. He's already quite a bit of farm up at this point, and now is looking for a gank here down in the bottom lane, looking for it with a spear there. Dalton throws some feathers down here, can look to pull them back here, gets Huffy stunned up underneath the turret there. Hesitos going in with the grand entrance. Huffy looking for a potential stun there with the face break, but they don't get anything back here. And see, that is exactly the potential problem here for the composition of My Insanity at this point. How will they ever get like a reliable way of engaging onto them if they can just stay back like this and not get collapsed upon?
Yeah, but they already have a lead and the pick comp is always stronger in a lead. Now Pesha has to dodge out that spear, but that's easy done on full range with the vision when Nidalee is already throwing it down. Luckily now pushing in, and it's gonna get hard now for Silent Gaming to find an avenue back into that game. And I'm super impressed by that bot lane from My Insanity, because Sayara Khan is one of these dominant lanes because they have a push advantage
Oh,
in nearly
Fidinho now
all
going
matchups.
in here, looking for it. There's the Vanguard's Edge going down onto Ziozo. He deals quite a bit of damage here. Can heal up with those blade charges. Flash there is being used by both of these players. Fidinho has to back away there as the Maiden of the Mist does quite a bit of damage here. Fidinho going in again, and there we see him just farming these schools essentially over and over. And now Xeonator is making his way up here. He knows Ziozer does not have the flash, does not have the teleport at this point, and there he comes in. That should just be a free gank here coming down from him. He goes on to Fidinho there, but he manages to take down Ziozer, and Silent Gaming finally gets a kill back onto the board. Dalton now being pulled in here by Heavy, gets stunned up there in the air, uses the cleanse to get out of the bubble. How is that possible that you get Sleepy Trouble Bubble while you use that that Feather Storm?
Yeah, he got hit and tried to dodge it just with the Feather Storm, but then he realized that the Feather Storm does
Mago
not
mio,
long
that
enough.
damage there onto Xeonator. He's just being killed here by Seven
Oh,
Army. And
no.
Seven Army goes in yet again,
no.
gets the double kill onto Fidinho there as well. That's a 3-0 Nidalee at this point. And that spear did so much damage. Golden God now here,
Yeah, that
potentially
was
being caught up
super
here. Blade Caller does not connect. Golden God looking for the connects the Sleepy Trouble Bubble.
Herfy looking for the
He does have the ult. There's the showstopper coming in into Dalton. He has the flash out. Ignite now going down onto him. Can they get the kill here? Ignite is ticking down, but it's not quite enough here to get the kill. Golden God now flashes in there with a double flash. Takes turret and gets shot down. Xeonator is now in the bot lane here, but he does not have the Cataclysm up. Fidinho coming in, he uses the Blade's Edge.
He can't win that.
I don't think so.
Under the
No,
turret.
I don't think so. He has to back off here. Will he use the TP even for that one? So he is just conceding his top lane at this point as they get the Rift Herald down there, and Shelly will ensure that that one goes down. And look at this. The spear here coming out, he does not manage to dodge it, and just nearly half his health gone there. Oh my gosh, I want to see how many Dark Harvest stacks Seven Army now already has.
Yeah, I mean that's just devastating to see that it's the Mindsanity already so strong again in that game, and now they have the dominant position. Wait a moment.
That's Discord.
Yeah.
Not sponsored, by the way.
Okay.
Okay,
A little insight
CS5
behind the scenes.
stacks on the Dark Harvest. At least we know this. Hezaitos now goes in here with the quickness onto Seven Army. Can he connect though? No, there is the blast cone, and he will manage to sneak out of it. That was an interesting flag interactor from Xeonator. Seven Army will just now take away everything in Xeonator's bottom side jungle at this point. Huffy helping him out nicely here. They will actually rotate the Zaya up top here by the looks of it, as Fidinho now is making his way down here. There's another spear connecting onto Hezaitos, and it's just an incredible amount of damage here coming out. But the Irelia actually is doing quite fine so far here. I mean, he went down 3 times already at this point. Where did he die so many times? There he goes in with the, not the Vanguard set, Blade Caller there. Does not manage to get anything else off of that, but they will be looking to slow the game down a little bit at this point, and hopefully once get a little bit of time to breathe and to farm maybe.
Yeah, but slowing it down didn't work yet for Silent Gaming. They never were able to get the control back, neither in game 1 and in game 2. Mind Sanity also starts off very strong, and up until now they never stopped. Yeah, they are just running in silent, and it works out
Yeah, and so far
like a charm.
it's a 5k gold lead already at 13 minutes, so quite showing here being put down by my Insanity at this point. 30 seconds remaining on these turret platings, and they will just claim a lot more of those into the bot lane. I don't really know what the Xayah is doing at this point. He's just wants to collect some farm up in the top lane, but they will not really let him have it. Fidinho trying to get anything here, but he uses the Vanguard's edge there, goes in onto Goldgold, actually deals quite a bit of damage here, nearly manages to take him down there. Showstopper coming in here to get him away from that. Fidinho now possibly can catch out Goldgold here. He manages to stun him up there. Flawless duet does land. Hesaitos is now also in here with the quickness. He also TP'd down to the bottom lane here, trying out to help his team out. Xianator is now also in place here, and Hesaitos will get jumped by the ghouls here, but he does jump out with the grand exit at this point. And Sioser now going on to Xianator here, forcing him away. He has 2-level lead onto him, and now they will just try to collect some farm down here. Meanwhile, 7arm he just keeps pressuring. He keeps looking for these potential engages.
Yeah, really well played by Fidinho there. He really shows that he likes that Irelia pick and knows what to do with it. But still, Mind Sanity can just take the tower afterwards, even though they lost one member. And
look at the difference in the jungle. That's nearly 2k. 7army is by far,
now it's nearly 3k.
By a true. By a landslide, the most fed member here on Mind Sanity. So yet again, the 7army show here by the looks of it, as Fidinho is now being caught out here possibly in the top lane. Another spear there connecting onto him. Goldgold going in there looking for the kill. 7army gets kill number 5 onto the board here, looking for yet another spear here, but that's 2 clean kills. Once again going over to Mind Sanity, and now Huffy is coming in here from the side. Does have the face breaker here, but the showstopper not off cooldown yet. Now Goldgold here just looking for some more of those paddle stars. It's the first shockwave we've seen this game. Not a particularly impressive one, but they are just invading the Silent Gaming jungle here as a whole, and not letting them have a breath whatsoever.
Yeah, Mind Sanity really is pressing on forward. I feel like they want to make this game also a very quick one, but I'm pretty confident in saying it won't be as fast as the first game.
Probably not quite. I mean, we see the first items now coming in here for both the teams. Pesce has his Frozen Hose completed, Essence Reaver on the Xayah, as well as the Zeke's Convergence there on the Rakan, and the Irelia will be looking to complete that Blade of the Ruin King soon too. I mean, at the moment we have some shutdowns here sitting on the side of Mind Sanity, as they will get their first dragon on the board now, and I mean, it takes one good fight here for Silent Gaming, I think, to get back into this game here. Collect some shutdowns, get some breathing room and a little bit of time to recover here. But 7army, last game he went for his Runic Echoes straight into the Void Staff, and this time he went straight up for the Lich Bane. So he just wants to one-shot everyone here on Silent Gaming and not give him that team fight potential.
And we maybe see that here now.
Oh, he does not hit.
Oh,
Tries to slow him down there. Pesce now backing out. Huffy going in here, gets the face breaking. There is going to be the shockwave down onto 7army. Xianator going in with the Cataclysm, but there's a free spear after that sleepy trouble bubble. And 7army claims yet another kill here as Hesaitos going in here. The ultimate tries to get a kill back with the Feather Storm there onto Golden God, but he does not manage to connect on it. There's another Trouble Bubble coming in, but Fidinho with the side whiffs his ultimate. Unfortunately, Vanguard's edge just going wide there, and now they try to get in onto Huffy, but yet again they're completely outnumbered and outclassed in this fight. Beshe, he will also go quite low. 7 Army looking for that last spear here. Mate, just go back to the base and heal. Hesitus is stepping so far forward here. 1 spear and he will see the grey screen once more.
Yeah, I think Silent Gaming just wants to have a little bit of fun because I feel like they know they are behind by a mile, and it's super hard for them to get back into this game, so they at least want to try to get some of these shutdowns. I mean, look at Nidderly, she has a 700 gold shutdown on herself, and that would be some way to get back, maybe if you get that on that Oriana or that Xayah, but otherwise it's gonna be super hard.
Going down onto Lagli, Shockwave, they're connecting. As we look at Ziosu here for some farming action. Now Hesitos goes in with the Ignite and the quickness there. They get 1 kill back for once without losing one of their members. 7 Army can't do much, and I think they will just resort to an episode of Defend the Base here. Never mind.
My God.
7 Army.
That damage.
Just one shot.
7 Army was so sure he would hit that spear. He already transformed to his Kruger form and just pounces in and takes Hesitos' life.
Absolutely. And Xeonator, like at this point, he does not have a jungle anymore. That's all 7 armies. At this point, he's just waiting in bushes, looking for spears at this point. He's the highest, now nearly the highest level on his team actually. But certainly the most fed member on his team with a 9-0 score at this point. And I mean, he carried super hard in game number 1, and game number 2 doesn't seem to be any different here. He's just putting on a clinic on his jungle here. Fidinho now overstepping here, but has to burn the flash there. Gold going in with the paddle starter. Xeonator jumping in with a cataclysm. Heavy comes in from the side there with the showstopper. Look at that haymaker, dealing so much damage there. Meanwhile, in the meantime, 7 Army just taking out everybody there. Gets a double kill, gets a triple kill, and in the meantime, Huffy just manages to take down Beshe there. That's going to be a 5-4-2 trade here. So an ace for NYI here at 21 minutes. And believe it or not, Italy with a Lich Bane does quite a bit of turret damage.
Yeah, but I think they just will go for that inhibitor and then they will back off. But I mean, it's already a 12k gold lead for Mindsanity. And yeah, Fidinho there in the gravity field has to flash out, then the bubble lands onto Beshe.
Look at that. Now Huffy can just waltz in at this point. Everyone is sitting pretty on top of the Chaos Storm and everything is covered. Fidinho wants to go in like on the backside, but gets he actually takes down Lagli on the backside of that. Nice shockwave there actually, and with the Blade Caller they get the second kill there. I was like, I didn't see the 2 kills going over, but 7 Army, man. Triple kill on the Nidalee there, and with that we are apparently back at us. Is it okay? Interesting.
Okay, hello. I think we still have the game going on.
Yeah. Okay, more
that's
replay.
Still the replay. We need to find our way back into the live game. But yeah, they then took that inhibitor.
Yeah, look, the maiden took it. Look at these nice little puppies. Okay, there it is. Works again. Daltin apparently died once again. Hesitos getting chunked out by a paddle star there pretty hard. And same goes for Fidinho. Ooh, I think that spear would have killed.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident in saying that would have killed, yeah.
At 12-0 Nidalee, that probably would have killed at this point.
Yeah.
And now they're just
But
pushing in even
yeah.
more. Here, look at that.
Oh god.
Heavy is in the back line there, slams down Desire. That's another 3 kills here once again. Going over to the side of the My Insanity Madhouse, and what a mad performance it really was. It kind of was. They should probably looking at renaming them as like the 7 squad or something, because that was pure dominance here. Out of 23 kills here, 7 Army was part of 19, so he only missed out, was not present for 4 kills, and 13 of those 23 were on him.
Yeah, I mean, such a strong performance from 7 Army. I'm baffled, really. He played so super well. I thought going into that series that our focus will be on Golden God and Golden God getting farm, Golden God getting in early to some items, to like 2 or 3 items, and then just out DPSing the enemies. But holy shit, that was such a clean game, a clean series from 7 Army. And Silent Gaming, they had no chance in this game.
Absolutely.
To be honest, it was a good showing for them to get into the semi-final, but it was My Insanity completely destroyed them.
Absolutely, especially 7 Army. Like you could see, in both of these games, his task was you have to accelerate the game, because if we just gonna have a snooze fest like we had in some of the past games, where it's just like, okay, gentleman's agreement, we're gonna farm for like 15 minutes, and then maybe around the dragon or so we can look for some fights. 7 Army was like, no, that's not how we do that. He just went for it right away, got some early kills underneath his belt, and from there on he just kept pressuring and pressuring. His team really enabling him there. I mean, Huffy, he was always looking for those flanks, always kept really nice vision control of the entire jungle, and then I mean the rest for the team, it was like nice to have around. They got to bait them in so many times because Silent Gaming, they were just going in blind essentially, and then they could just continuously collapse upon them. And at some point, I mean, 7 Army was just chilling in brushes, looking to connect some spears, and then just literally one-shot someone or force them back to base.
Yeah, but I think the most devastating moment in this series was the 2 early ganks from 7 Army in the first game. I think that already did pretty much of a pretty essential mental damage onto Silent, because if you start the game at 2.5 minutes with already 3 members down, I know it's only 2 members, but I mean, still,
like,
that's nothing you wanna. That's not how you wanna
like,
start the game.
Okay, go next, I guess.
Yeah.
Especially when you are like supposed to win these matchups. But My Insanity, they never let up, and they deservedly make their way into the grand finals here, where they will face off against Recast Gaming. And I'm personally already super excited to see that duel fold out. Because like Recast Gaming, we've seen like a similar style to what Silent Gaming attempted to do today, I think, but I think they executed it a bit better so far. So I think if they don't have these kind of mishaps and mistakes happening in the early game, if they can keep 7 Army down more, and just have the proper vision set up to not get caught out of guard with these early ganks out of him, they then could possibly get into that mid and late game stage where they will outscale.
Yeah, and I mean, that's super interesting how My Insanity was able to play. I had to quickly charge my headphones, otherwise my mic will shut off.
No problem, we're done for tonight anyways.
Yeah, I'm super excited for that final. And I'm also interested to compare these two teams because we now have seen in both semifinals that one side was quite the dominant force, and I'm interested how that final is gonna play out to just have somewhat of a power gauge on the Swiss scene again,
Yeah.
and actual a most recent power ranking for the Swiss scene.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, at this point it is probably the best time to remind you guys watching out there that our finals, they will be taking place on the 2nd of May in all our 3 games actually. So CSGO, Clash Royale, as well as League of Legends, and both Chef and I are looking forward to be casting those games as well. I will also be casting the Clash Royale finals between Jesus and That's Him. So that will also be quite an interesting duel, and yeah, I hope you are all already excited for that. Unfortunately, due to the current lockdown that's still going on, we will have it purely online, but don't be too sad. It will still be fully packed of League of esports action, and then we'll be looking to go big come season 4 in fall. Yeah, but at that point, let's actually have a look at our bracket now that we have our 2 finalists here. As we can see, it's going to be Recall Gaming as against Mind Sanity Madhouse, who have just showed up super strong here today. They have put on quite a clinic here and showed why they are certainly a force to be reckoned with here. I mean, look at it. They've had a clean sweep essentially through all of their matches, coming in, not dropping a single game, not in the round of 16s, not in the round of 8th, not in the semifinals. And let's see if Recast Gaming can finally take a game off of them.
Yeah, but I mean, Recast Gaming also has not lost a single game up until now. So, I mean, it's for both teams. They will lose the first time in the final. So that's that's something we can't say often.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, this will certainly be an interesting one. Also for this game, we'll be having some highlights coming up, I believe.
Yeah.
Those are being prepared currently. We have 5 from each game actually, and we have them ready actually now. So let's have a look at both of these games and how Mind Sanity essentially rolled their way through to victory here.
Yeah. I mean, that was just the first gank from Elise catching out Pesha. He flashed, and both flashes from Seven Army and luckily were able to be preserved. And Seven Army goes straight for that bot lane, wraps around, and look, they are still level 1. They get dived here. The cocoon lands once again, and then he can drop the aggro. Golden God can survive there with the barrier, and that was just so devastating already.
Here, Xeonator is looking to get something back at there. Dalton just taking the 1v1 against Golden God, who at this point I think already had like 2 kills or so. So going down there quite quickly to him. And then Loggerly just wrapping around here. They don't have any vision onto him. They are only 3 people. Maokai does not have his DP up. They get the kill onto Huffy here. And then Loggerly, look at this, beautifully jumps over here, gets the active here from the Bilgewater Cutlass, and then just knocks them back into the waiting arms and the flame spitter of Seozer. And in the meantime, Golden God just gets some free fire in the back there.
Yeah, and here we see a 3v2 for Silent Gaming. They can shut down the Kog'Maw on Golden God, but then he comes in clutch with his passive. Xeonator tries to stay in to secure the kill, but Seven Army gets the kill, and Dalton then can snipe out Seven Army with the Blade Caller. So it was a 2-for-2 trade.
Absolutely, and then here They were looking for a potential catch here.
Just focus here on Elise Cocoon.
Check!
Right now.
There we go.
That was so clutch. And then also the equalizer, just denying all the follow-up. Xeonator tries to get something back, but no chance. And that was just a pure outplay from my Insanity.
Absolutely. I mean, he did not have the proper flank there, and that's just like one of the examples. I mean, Lagli at this point, he is up 2 levels. Even uses the flash. They're trying to get a burst onto Lagli, but he's just like, nah, we good. And then here, actually Xeonator, he went for the 50-50. He could have gotten it. There were equal levels here, so same smite damage there, but the burst, of course, coming out of 7 Army was quite insane. And then, yeah, luckily just gets the Lulu ult at this point and can just run them down here just with off his level lead, essentially. And
yeah,
that was
really well played. And I mean, going for a smite steal try against 7 Army, who was feeling himself this game, really trying it, but it's too hard. And then we are already in the second game. 7 Army once again with the gank, with that spear. And I mean, with that spear, the death from Fidinho was already confirmed. He really tries to, he had the perfect timing there, but then he flashes too late. And 7 Army still gets the kill.
Still connected there. That's an interesting one. And then same thing again here. They got the kill there onto Siozer, I believe, and then look at him just jumping in and deals such an incredible amount of damage with the red buff on top of it all. And Fidinho is out of mana, nothing he can really do. And there he pounces onto him again, takes him down, and at that point the Cougar was really running wild.
Yeah, it was 7 Army. I'm super impressed by him. And then this fight is also somewhat strange. They tried to get something on 7 Army, but he just pounces out of the Cataclysm, and then another spear landing on the J4. Yeah, but you see where the enemies fall asleep, so that's not too hard to hit. And then Dalton, I feel like that was a little bit of a tilt play.
Dalton always trying with these flashes and the feather storms, but he never quite gets it. And then Fidinho trying to get something back, whiffs the Vanguard edge, and then just falls like his teammates do. Pesha, they're TPing in with half health. That's also interesting. I think at this point they have like mentally given up, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a hard game, and yeah, we have, I think, the last replay from the second game.
They have no vision whatsoever in that mid lane, and they just get collapsed upon. Everyone is essentially chilling in the Chaos Storm there. Huffy slams down Dalton from the side there with the Showstopper. Siozer also comes in for like good measure, but at that point, Silent Gaming is already running. Siozer just flashing in there to get a kill onto Dalton. Pesha trying to get something back actually on the top end of that fight, but he gets ignited by Huffy and then just run down. And in the meantime, I mean, and Italy that's like 9-0 at this point, that has Dark Harvest. She really loves these low health targets running away from her.
Yeah, and it was just such a good throwing from my Insanity, and with the picks on the carries there, they were able to finish that second game and managed to secure their position and their spot in the grand final.
They're just fishing here. They just want to get one more kill onto Hesaito's Rakan there, and they managed to get it in the end. So yeah, quite an impressive show here out of my Insanity, that is for sure. So it will be a tough nut to crack if Recast wants to stand up to them come the grand finals.
Yeah. I'm super excited for the grand final, but up until then it's gonna be a little bit of a pause. The grand final will take place on the 2nd of May, and it will also be online because of the current situation. So but we want to make a great experience for you. We have a day planned full of esport, and we hope that you will join us once again for the grand finale of this Swisscom Hero League Season 3, powered by ESL. So I got it down.
See, that's just the practice I got over
Yeah.
the 3 seasons that we've been running now. But I think at this point it's also worth giving out another big shout out to our production. The whole situation
Yeah.
was not easy, and just them really stepping up their game, helping us, setting everything up so we can work from the comfort and safety of our own homes, and to still provide you with the entertainment while you have to keep yourselves and your families safe. Yeah, I think we never really see what goes on behind the scenes. We had our fair share of small errors and mishaps, but in the end, I think it was just a fantastic season. Great games, great experiences here, and I think, yeah, worth a big round of at least imaginary applause at this point. But at least we can
You
clap.
can put it in the chat.
Yeah,
We can all clap together
true.
for the
Clap
production.
for production.
Big shout out to them.
Nice.
And thank you all for watching. Obviously, also a big shout out to all of you guys joining in every evening to watch what the Swiss LoL scene has to show. So, yeah,
Absolutely.
that was really great. And all that's left is the grand finale. I'm a little bit sad that it takes some time up until then, but that just leaves more time to prepare ourselves.
Absolutely, and I mean, at the moment we have LCK playoffs going on, we have the LPL playoffs going on. Make sure you watch some of those as well, because that is some insane gameplay, as well as, of course, our colleagues from the EU Masters.
Yeah.
We're also a representative of the Swiss esports community in Pride
Two.
is representing.
We have also Bando
Oh yeah, true. Is on which team is Bando playing these
on
days?
LDLC
Okay, I see.
together with the old legend Yellowstar.
Oh, true. I mean, Fnatic Rising, I actually watched their game yesterday where they had like such a clutch game against Wizards, and it was just
Yeah.
insane. It went on for like 45 minutes or something, and it was super insane in the end.
Yeah, but
We're digressing.
We are
We're digressing.
losing focus. Yeah, I think we have reached the end of today, and it was once again a great evening together with you, Don, and always a pleasure to cast
Yeah,
with you.
likewise. We've been doing this for 3 seasons now, and as the league is improving and improving, I hope so are we here as a duo. And thanks for everyone out there also for tuning in. We wish you from the bottom of our heart, have a nice evening. Tune back in for our grand finale, and yeah, stay happy, stay healthy, and stay safe. Goodbye.
Bye. Up until the finale.
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
Wir arbeiten schon viel. Und das darf auch sein. Es gehört halt auch dazu. Aber die Technik schafft heute auch viel. Immer mehr sogar. Die Luftfeuchtigkeit passt. Die Stauatmosphäre stimmt. Und wenn die Technik immer mehr schafft, könnten wir ja zwischendurch ein Kehr weniger krampfen. Oder etwa nicht?
You ready? Huh? Hey, easy boy, huh? You ready?
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.